So moving on just a little bit now about just life in general. What kind of things bring you the most happiness and bring you the most joy in life generally?
Football. Oh no, you can't. I mean, like, I can go without food, but I stay up like 2 a.m. watching football. I mean, it's one of the things that nobody, if you are married to me, get ready to deal with that, because I can't change that for you. You know, when they say if you get married and you change that, no, I'm not changing that.
What team?
Oh, Arsenal! Come on, Arsenal! Of course, I don't care what is going on right now, but we'll get back. I'm an Arsenal fan, true and true, till death.
On which thing, beautiful. which things in life make you a little bit sad, or get you down, or ever make you feel disappointed? It could be personal.
Yeah.
It could be within the world. Is there anything like that you can think of?
Oh, for sure, I really don't like being disrespected. It makes me sad if people don't treat you as an individual, but they treat you as a collective, as because you are from this. It's like the stereotype that I said before, because you are from this place, so they assume that you will also behave like the previous person that they've encountered that behaved in a certain way. So they believe that since you're from the same country, there's no way you'll be different. That's a very big mistake, because, for instance, let me not say Africa in general. Let me say Nigeria as a country has over 200 million people, and those 200 million people have 200 million characters. They are never the same people. You never for once chose where you were born, right? I didn't get to pick where I was gonna be born. So if you're trying to judge me based on where I'm coming from, that's not fair, right? Oh yeah, Nigeria is a beautiful country, just the same way people have this mindset and those preconceived idea that Vietnam is not safe. Vietnam is this, and that was one of the motivations for me to start making YouTube videos, because I wanted to showcase to people that if a black boy like me, all the way from Africa, could live happily in Vietnam and be able to thrive and enjoy my life here in Vietnam, who are you not to? Why would you sit down and believe what the media feeds you and tell you that this country is not safe? It's the same way, it goes both ways, that people assume that Africa or Nigeria is full of bad people, or the country is corrupt, or the citizens are this and that. Trust me, I know what you're saying, but does that even make all of us criminals? You know, you can't tell me in England you don't have criminals as well. In Australia you have criminals. In every country you have criminals. The same way we have criminals. And you don't let the bad apples to change your mind about a whole country. You shouldn't be that way. So those are the things that if I look at. But one thing I've always held at the back of my mind is I can only vouch for myself. I can only do what is right. I can only be able to project my individual personality to you. I can't vouch for what Mr. Frank from Lagos State or from Abuja in Nigeria is doing. I can't vouch for what Kenneth or this person, because they are from the same country as I am. We might not even speak the same language, but I'm being judged based on what interactions you've had with them in the past, and you felt like they cheated you, or that they were not good to you, and that's why it's affecting me, because of the way you felt about them. So I think it shouldn't happen like that, you know.
200 million, that's a lot.
Over 200 million people.
I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah.
It's going to be overtaking China in a few years.
Over 200 million people.
Wow.
And then in Nigeria there are over 500 and something languages spoken, but English is like our main language anyway. But there are so many 500 plus languages.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You speak on the phone earlier. Were you speaking?
Speaking
something.
Yeah, I was speaking Igbo.
Igbo. Is that a common language in Nigeria?
Yeah, that's one of their three main tribes: Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba in Nigeria. And my parents are from the eastern part of it, but I grew up in the western part of it, where they speak Yoruba, so I can understand some Nigerian languages as well, different parts.
Wow. Cool,
Yeah.
man. Do you have any role models? Or who would you say is the biggest role model you've had? It could be someone from a family, someone you met here, it could be a number of people.
Let me tell you the truth. Growing up, we just wanted to survive. It was all about survival for us. You know what they tell you, like a hungry child doesn't think about the future. The hungry child just wants to get by the day. So it was like that for us while growing up, because I lost my dad when I was really young, and it was just my mom. So day to day we were just trying to get by every day. So growing up wasn't, if you were like in my position and you you're wondering what's for lunch, your mind wouldn't go as far as thinking of what to do in 10 years or 5 years, because you don't even know if you will live up to that time. So I didn't have a lot of people to look up to, but if there was one person that I actually looked up to at that time, it was my mom, because I was wondering, how in the hell does she do what she does, taking care of 7 kids by herself, providing for them? Yep, providing for them all by herself, no help from anywhere.
What a woman!
What a woman! So if I was looking to have a role model, that she was the one. You know, I couldn't ask for a bigger role model than that, because she taught me everything I knew, and the same with my brothers, and all the qualities we have as a human. Even though she didn't have much, but she never allow you to compromise your integrity for money. That's who she was. She rejected a lot of stuff for us, even though it was gonna bring a lot of money to us, but if it was not to her satisfaction, if it was gonna make her compromise her qualities and integrity, she rejected outrightly. That's part of the things that she has imbibed in us. She has taught us to do. There are so many things that we don't give up because money doesn't impress us. People might think I'm crazy when I'm saying it, but till date, like I said, I got into YouTube. If I wanted to like do things, I wouldn't be spending money to do something that I love. But money has never been the determining factor for me in most of the things that I do. If I'm having a relationship with you that I think you're being honest with me, that what matters to me. Not because of how much you've got or your financial status. No, I don't think that. I just think of who you are as a person and how you relate to me, how you respect me, and how you abide by the things that we talk about. Those are the things that I value in people, and I don't care about your financial status. You can be as rich as Bill Gates today, but if you have shitty attitudes, I won't respect you.
If you could go back and speak to your younger self, maybe a younger Nan,
Yeah.
years ago or when you were a kid, at any age, what would you say? Have you got any advice for your younger self?
I wish I followed my dream a little bit earlier. I wish I'd done things that I wish I knew some things I know now. I wish I knew it some years back. I could have grown a lot more faster than I did. But one of the things I always tell people, even the people that work with me, is that whatever happens in my life was meant to happen the way it's happening. And I don't have any regrets. I don't live in regrets, because I believe that every situation that I come across in life prepares me for the next chapter of my life. So if I dwell on the mistakes that I made and keep regretting about the things that I should have got that I didn't get, I won't be where I was supposed to be, because I'll keep thinking about that. And one of the things my mom used to tell us back then was that you can't drive continuously and driving safely still looking at your rearview mirror. You can't move forward. If you're driving and keep looking at a rearview mirror, you definitely, there's no way you will go to anywhere. So that's the way the future is. If you're always looking to the future and keep looking backwards, no, you can't make a headway. So what I always believe is that whatever happens in my life, whatever mistakes, in quotes, I've made in my life, those were not mistakes. Those were meant to be. Those were part of my growing up. Those were part of the lessons that I was meant to learn at that point in time. So it was not a coincidence that I was there when I lost money for business, or that I was there when I did this, or this thing didn't work in my favor. No, it was supposed to happen at the time it happened. And I learned a lot from that. And if it didn't happen, I wouldn't have known.
There's no easy road.
There's no easy road. I told somebody yesterday, I was like, if you don't sweat, you don't enjoy the breeze.
100%.
If you don't sweat, you don't enjoy the breeze.
You don't know what the breeze is.
You can't even enjoy it, because if you're dry, if you've been in a cold place for the whole day, you won't value that. But if you've come from the sun and got into the air condition, oh my God, you feel so refreshed, right? So you cannot enjoy the breeze or the wind if you've not got the sweat on your skin.
How nice does your bed feel after a hard day's work?
Exactly. But if you've been in bed all day, you won't appreciate that. You won't appreciate it.
What you've already touched a bit on some challenges.
Yeah.
But if I were to say what's been the biggest challenge in your life, what would spring to mind? Obviously your childhood was a challenge, but anything else, or would you care to elaborate on that? The biggest challenge in your life?
The biggest challenge I had to deal with was the death of my mom. Because just as I've said earlier, like she was the rock. She was the foundation of everything that I became and everything that I was going to become at that time. But cutting her short, like I felt she was at her prime. She was not even old, so she got sick and she died, and it was a big shock, and it was something that I'm still 15 years down the line, I'm still trying to recover from it, because she was one person who has answers to every questions. I'm telling you, it seems incredible, like how intelligent she could be, that you feel very comfortable having a conversation. Even in my adult years, I could got into trouble and call my mom and say, oh my, I know 100% that there's no way I can get out of this situation. But trust me, she'll give you an answer or give you ideas that will get you out of those situations. So in losing my mom, because she was the only parent that I knew. My dad, I was barely 3 or 4 when I lost my dad, so I didn't have any form of relationship with him. So she was the only parent I knew. And having that taken away from me was... people might think you're already adult, you could take care of yourself. I was taking care of myself. I was not living with my mom at that time. But having that support system where she was not giving me money, but she was giving me something more than money. Something that I could never ever get, even with $1 million. So that was one of the biggest challenges and the biggest difficulties that I've had to overcome in my life. And I'm still trying to push through that, but it's not been easy. But at the same time, it also helped me to grow up way faster than I should have. So it's something that I could look back on, and I could see it from both positive and negative as well. Because negative in the sense that I lost a very, very important part of my life, and positive in the sense that it made me become much more stronger and able to withstand some things, because I knew that if I mess up, nobody's gonna pick it up. So I had to be cautious and careful at the same time to do what I normally would be very careless in doing, because I know if I mess it up, my mom would take care of it. But once that was gone, I had to be responsible for myself. So that was one of the things. And one of the other challenges was living in a different country. You know, Vietnam was a challenge, and I was ready for it. Seriously. And that was another part of the positivity I said about losing my mom, because if she was alive, if I went through the initial stages of my living here, the things I went through, if she was alive, she would say, get your ass back here. She wouldn't even allow me to stay for another month. You know, but because she was not there, I had to look, who do I run to? I had to be able to be strong for myself. I had to do things that I never knew I could be able to do. So those were the things. Vietnam was a challenge, a real big challenge, but I am so glad that I overcame the challenges and still overcoming the challenges, because it's an everyday, it's a continuous process. Even
a question then.
Cool.
What are you hopeful for in the future?
For me, one of the things I've always wanted was to look back 20 years from now and 30 years from now and be proud of what I achieved, be proud of who I am, and be proud of things that I've done. And how do I do that? Is by doing all the right things at this time, making sure that I don't involve myself in things that I will look back in 10 years from now, 20 years from now and have regrets. Because like I said, I don't like regrets. So that's why if I ask you a question, I want to repeat the question so I make sure you get the answer. And if you ask me a question, even if I heard you the first time, I want you to repeat it again. So I'll make sure I heard you correctly so I can be able to carry out the assignments you gave to me correctly. So I pay more attention, I listen more. And that's one of the things I picked from my mom. Mom said, there's a reason why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Is you listen twice as much as you speak. So I want to listen more. I want to understand things more. That's why sometimes the people that work with me, like my boys, and sometimes they feel if they point out some mistakes that I might feel offended. But one of the things I told them the first day I held a meeting with them was like, if you don't criticize me, if you don't tell me the truth, not just criticize me, if you don't tell me the truth, you are not my friend. I don't care how bad you think it is. I don't care how difficult it is you think it would be for me to hear. I'm man enough to understand it. But what you owe me is to be honest with me. And I think I owe the same to people that I deal with on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis. I owe you my honesty. I owe you my integrity. I want to be held by I want my words to be my bond, right? I want the things that I say or my actions today to be something that you look back and judge me on. So that's why I'm being not extra cautious, but I'm being smart in the choices that I make. I try as much as possible to, whatever I'm asking you to do, I want to put you in my shoe or put myself in your shoe to be able to see if what I'm asking you to do, it's even something that I can do myself. So one of the biggest things I want to do is to be able to be proud of myself, of my youth in my old age. I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I want to be proud of my youth.
That's something to aspire to. I think.
Yeah, I want to be proud of my youth in my old age. I don't want to get to my 70s and 80s and wish, fuck man, I wish I'd done this when I was 20 or when I was 40 or when I was 30. So I try as much as possible to listen to people and I grow every day. I learn new things every day from kids, from adults. I don't disrespect people. I try as much as possible to see things from your own point of view as well. Not just from my own point of view.
That's part of life, isn't it? Forever learning.
Yeah, forever learning.
From other people. You can never learn everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Until the day we die.
Exactly.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Nan.
Yeah, of course.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Would you like to say goodbye in Vietnamese? That'd be quite nice. Just a little goodbye or something. That'd be lovely. So that was the longest interview we've had.
Me no talk English tiếng Việt mà. Me no talk English tiếng Việt. Me talk tiếng Việt very very bad. Me talk tiếng Việt very xấu. Ok, cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video ngày hôm nay nha. Mình tên là Nam Đen, đẹp trai nhất Việt Nam. Nếu các bạn chưa biết, không ai đẹp bằng Nam nha. Nam là đẹp trai nhất Việt Nam và kênh YouTube của Nam là AfroViet TV. Nếu các bạn chưa đăng ký, các bạn nhớ đăng ký và share và like YouTube của mình. Và kênh của bạn này, các bạn nhớ xem và like nha. Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video ngày hôm nay. Thank you.